Good morning. Today I thought I would show you how to make these real sweet Halloween test tube holders for some Halloween candy. I've got a couple of them here to show you, and this one's filled with candy corn. This one's got peanut M&Ms and their ghoul colors. They would be cute filled with almost anything, even the sour crawlers, little sour worms, or any kind of candy you could find. They would be adorable to put in these. So let me get started. What you will need first is a 4x11 black cardstock paper. I really love the Gina K paper. You could go on her website. She has lots of beautiful colors, and they are a great weight, and this is a good weight to hold up for this. So what you're going to do first is take this 4x11 sheet of paper, and we are going to score it. So a trick I've learned is you take a little piece of wax paper and just kind of lightly rub it over your paper, and from that you will find that your scoring goes so much easier. Sometimes when I'm scoring it gets caught up and the lines don't quite come through, but when you do the wax paper on it, it works so much easier. So what you're going to do is score this at 1 1/4, 3 3/4, and then 5 inches. And then you're going to turn it, and you are going to score again at 1 1/4 all the way down the whole length, and then at 2 3/4. And then you're going to turn it back around and score at 7 1/2, but skipping this middle part and then picking it up down here. So you're just going to score on both sides at 7 1/2 inches. So from here we're going to do some cutting. And you know what? Let me put this paper down here so you can see the measurements. So it's again 4x11 cardstock, scoring at 1 1/4, 3 3/4, and 5 inches. You're going to turn it the lengthwise and then do it at 1 1/4 and 2 3/4. Turning it back, you're going to score at 7 1/2 just to the score line, and then pick it up again on the other side. Okay, so from here we're going to do some cutting. So on these score lines, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but you're going to cut on the score lines up to the middle score line. I have been searching for some fun Halloween projects on the internet, and Pinterest is a good source for that. And that's where I found this idea. So there are people out there that have figured this pattern out, and there's several of them. I basically copied that idea and I altered it a little bit. So if you're not following what I'm doing, there's certainly other tutorials out there to show you this. So after we have all those cut, we're going to turn it and cut off 2 of the long panels at the very top. Just like that. And then we're going to turn it back this way, and these little short tabs we're going to cut out like a little triangle, because these are going to fold in and we want to reduce the bulk. And then we're going to turn it over and do the same thing on this side. Just cut off those little bits just up to the score line. Here's another one here and here. Okay, so at this point, let me get a piece of paper so you can see. So this is what it's going to look like at this point. Okay, so from here we need to take a hole punch. Now this is a 1" because this works out perfect with my test tubes, which is here. So this fits exactly for my test tube. And you can find these on Amazon. I bought these a year ago, and it didn't come in time last year for Halloween, so I saved it for this year. I don't remember where I got it. I don't know. Definitely, I'm pretty for sure it was Amazon. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hole punch. This is 1" again, and you're going to, this little end, you're going to line it up and then punch it just like that. Okay? So at this point, what we're going to do is fold everything on these score lines. And get them all set. So there we go. Okay, at this point we're going to decorate it. So what I've done is I've got some cutouts here, and this one is going to be up here, and this one's going to be down here. So these dimensions, this actually, if you cut a 1.5" strip by 6 inches, that works out great, and especially if you have the little paper pads, this works out perfectly. And then this little piece is going to be 2 1/4 here, and this is 3 3/4, which gives you the 6 inch. This little guy I found on Etsy again, and there's so many great digital downloads that are very reasonable that you can find. If you're talented with the computer, you can certainly find your own imagery online and then size it. But these are jewelry images that people can use in making jewelry. So this is a domino size, which is 1" by 2. And that works perfect for this. Now what I like to do is, I don't like to see the white edges, the white cardstock, the center of that, to have a more, I guess, finished look. I like to antique the edges. Sometimes I'll take a black marker and just run over it so you don't see that, especially if I'm fussy cutting. I really love Tim Holtz products, the distress inks. If you want to give it more of a vintage look, vintage photo, I love. This one I'm going to use Black Soot of the distress ink. So I just take my little image and just slightly run over the edges like that. And on these. And it just gives them kind of a nice finished look. Okay. So from here we're going to glue, and my favorite glue is this Art Glitter Glue. It dries clear, it doesn't warp my paper. I use it when I actually glitter, and you can find it on Amazon. You could actually, they have a beautiful website where they sell gorgeous glitters, but Art Glitter Glue is wonderful. So what we're going to do is put a little glue on the back. I should have filled this up. Oh my goodness. Okay. And sometimes it's running a little low. Let's see. But we run a little glue on the back of it, and I like to use wet glue versus the dry adhesive, like the tapes, and everything has its reasons of what works best at what time, but I kind of like the wet glue for things like this because it gives you a little wiggle room, a little wiggle time to center it just right, whereas if you had that other kind of adhesive, you put it down, it's down. So what we're going to do is, this is basically the front of it. So he is going to go right on there. So we're going to take the glue and put a bit on the back. And again, just kind of eyeball it and line it up. And I know it's probably difficult for you guys to see. My lighting is not the best. And then, so that's the front. And now this is how it's going to go. So we know this has got to go back here. So again, let's put some glue on this. And just like that, we're going to lay that down. Okay? Now the next part we're going to do is more gluing. So I start one side at a time. And glue these two tabs. And I start with the back and I kind of hold it up and I give it a little press. And then I take the top piece and line it up there so it's straight. I've got my finger in that little hole and push it down, and it grabs pretty quick and it sets pretty quickly, thankfully. So this is the outside flap. So that's the next part we're going to do. Gonna glue, my glue comes down, there we go. Gonna glue that. And again, I'm going to take this and just kind of give it a couple little taps so it adheres. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. We glue the back down first and kind of hold that for a moment, making sure it's squared up there. You can, again, that little hole, you can put your finger in there and give it a little squeeze, and that holds it. And then we can glue this final one down. And there we've got it. It was that easy. So from here, what I like to do is, this is a part I changed also, is I wanted to be able to not have that tube fall out. So I thought a piece of ribbon would hold that nicely. So I have a We Are Memory Keepers hole punch. And what's nice is it's deep, so you can go in pretty good length of punching a hole, and then you can set it however you want the depth to be so it'll be consistent. So that's what I've done here. So I put this in here and I line it up my side to that side and give it a squeeze, and do the same on the other side. And there we've got our perfectly lined up holes. So from here you could put in your tube and fill it if you want, or I would go ahead and fill it and have the cap on it. This is where I use Snug Hug seam binding. I love this stuff. I use this for everything. It comes in lots of colors. I order it from Zipper Stop on the internet. And they come in fabulous colors. If you don't want to own so many of them, you can certainly get the white and dye it with the Distress inks and a little bit of water and make it your own. So that's something else that's kind of fun to do. And it kind of has that cool variegated look when you do that. So you put your tube in there and you're just going to try to tie a simple bow. Let's see. There we go. And of course you'd make this way prettier, taking your time with it and fluffing it out a little better than this. That one, that's not going to cooperate. And I got these fun bags. I think I got these from Hobby Lobby. Anyhow, they're a bag of spiders, And what's kind of fun about these is it's got this little clip. I don't know if you can see that little clip on the side. So you don't have to glue it, and you can kind of slide it on the ribbon. Okay, and have it on the side there. And that's kind of more Halloween creepy fun. So there you go. That's all there is to these. I think they're adorable. I like that the test tubes are plastic, so you don't have to worry if you give this to young ones that they would be dangerous. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to probably do a few more. We always have a great big Halloween party that we do every year, and I always try to give our guests a nice goodie bag with some fun different things in it. So this is going to go in that this year. So I've got a few more things I'll be doing, and I'll try to video them for you in case you would like to give them a try too. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.